Okay, great. So I think I'm going to start, guys. Yeah, welcome again. And it's a pleasure to have all of us again connected. And thank you for making time to come for these sessions. I'm sure in the fullness of time, you're seeing the compound benefit of attending and being consistent. Because again, I think that's just the nature of anything that you're building up. If you're building up new information, like an area like we are learning, I think consistency is key. We've just concluded the Olympics in Japan. And those who won are actually those who actually stayed consistent. That's just really how life operates. So today we're actually looking at P2P, crypto P2P, everything we need to know. And Theo is actually taking us through that session. But as always, we kind of give a sense of where we are so far for those of you who have missed out maybe any number of sessions. So I'm happy to report that we are probably, this is session number 18 actually. And so we are on the 18 plus. The format of this will change completely because I'm redesigning it so that it's a little bit more simpler. And we'll have more of an experience type of learning because I got some very critical feedback the other day that it's going to help us in how we repackage everything because I don't want it to be overwhelming. And we'll reuse all the resources that we've covered previously, including, I think, a very good session that Tawanda did for us, which tied the stitches together. Welcome, Jeremy. So, and you see there's a star somewhere that says Community Summit. I'll talk about that at the end.
Thank you, Tim.
So,
hi, everyone.
Yeah, welcome, Jeremy. It's great to have you.
Thank you.
Great. So, I mean, this quote we are all familiar with, so I'm not going to belabor it because I think those of us in the room are familiar. I'm going to just save us the time. So I think I rephrased a little bit. I added something in here to the second one, which is around crypto platforms. Before it was just crypto. That as we go deeper into this, we come across different platforms. Whether it's DeFi or NFT, all these types of platforms that are empowering and enabling crypto or the use cases of blockchain as it were. And it's just a case of, us to look a little bit more keenly, as you'll see in the big moves, what that really means. So let me just carry on. So again, I'm not going to belabor this one. So I'm going to hand over to Theo rather to introduce himself because he's going to be teaching us today. He's going to be taking us through this session. So Theo, over to you, sir.
Hi guys, good evening to everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, clear, loud and clear.
Okay, nice. Okay, so my name is Theophilus. I was born in Lagos. I spent the bulk of my life there thus far. Moved down to South Africa in 2019 to work with Amazon. I do have a core technical background in software engineering, even though I do have a first degree in biochemistry. As a story for another day. Then, okay, my passions. Okay, I was that kid in the house that was always spoiling things. Some I could fix, some I couldn't fix. Then I've always had this interest in crypto for a long time. I've traded, I've held, and I'm still at it as well. And I'm glad to talk to you guys about peer-to-peer trading today.
Thank you, Theo. I look forward to it. This is actually, thank you for taking up the challenge, man, because I mean, I've never really used P2P, but it's going to be good to learn about it today. So, so good. Let's probably look at the markets briefly before we hand over back to Theo. And again, as always, we open up. Perhaps, just the key trends. What's happening? Any mentionable items? I mean, there's been a lot of debate, obviously, if you're on the channel. There's been a lot of discussion, a lot of updates. Perhaps maybe just, share what you have. Anyone can go. We were not going to spend so long on this one. Just one comment, and then I'll move to the next slide. Any top line news, anything that has happened in the markets or sentiment, whatever? Anyone who wants to comment and share what they may have heard of, Okay, it looks like we may not have, but I'll just summarize this pretty much what has happened in the past week, or yeah, that has been happening in the past. So I think the one that is so obvious is the way that the markets are rallying again. Bitcoin has moved back. It's been actually, it cruised past 45,000. And Ethereum, I think last week we were talking about the upgrade that they were having. And that seemed to have really played very well in terms of influencing the price among many other macro moves. And then I think on the regulatory side, on the other opposite, on the corner, as you can see, there's been a major development in the US. In fact, that probably is the big news that I think is worth mentioning. So they had this bill, which they were passing, they were calling it infrastructure bill. And then they were really, they were sneaking in this thing that was going to tax crypto at about 25 billion over a period. And the legislators have been debating that with a lot of lobbying from the crypto community. Thankfully, whatever, I mean, they obviously have managed to pass on the infrastructure bit, but the crypto part has been spared in a way because it was going to be really negative on crypto because they were really planning to be very heavy-handed on it. And even miners and all of those were being seen as intermediaries, meaning they had to submit taxes, give people forms. It was going to be very heavy. So it looks like they have taken a more sober, cautionary approach instead for now. So that's really a positive step. So I think that's really something notable, I think, from last week's development. So again, broadly, regulation still remains in red. The other sections look really green and really progressive. I have not endeavored to change the influencer section. I think I want to have an approach which is a little bit more consistent because I mean, the people who are influencing us are mostly in the US, but I want to have a little bit more of a framework of trying to recommend people, not just because, oh, somebody has so many followers that all of a sudden we're just looking at them. I'm looking at it from who are people who are giving perspective, who are people who are investing, who are people who are, who we can either learn from or follow. Like, for example, Michael Saylor, I've recommended him because he's done a lot of work in terms of advocating Bitcoin in particular. And then the big story, which I think we all have had, there's a lot of information. I won't really belabor this on the channel, is around the $6 million hack of a DeFi platform called Polynet or something like that. Polynet, I have the name. It's not Polygon, it's Polynet, so it's a network. And again, this is obviously really the largest hack. But it looks like there's a turnaround because this hacker is slowly beginning to return the money because somebody found a leak of their details. And now slowly the person is sent a message to say, hey, I actually surrender. Of course, we're going to wait and see how that plays out. Any comment? Let me just rather open up and just hear from the floor. Any thoughts and comments on this one? Because that's a lot of information I've just shared with you guys. And welcome, Tangi. Any comments on this one? At least one comment. Let's hear it. If somebody has something to say, because the rest I'm just going to be literally breezing through and then we hand over. Okay, looks like we're quiet today. We're not saying much. Okay, cool. So I think I'm just going to carry on. I think I think, of course, because we are more invested in the longer term, I mean, we are still hodling, as it were, which I think is really our strategy anyway. So let me just continue. So again, these are slides you're familiar with. I'm not going to belabor that. Some of this we're going to refresh as we go along the way, as we add a bit of value. And then I think the one thing that I would say is let's continue just to really build into ourselves, because the danger with sometimes if we're just saying, oh, okay, because I saw there's a post on the channel, there's somebody who potentially might be speaking in the event that we're planning in September. So they're quite knowledgeable and they are quite invested in crypto. So I'm just challenging us not to really take, you know, a holiday from crypto. We'd rather be using this time to learn. And of course, all these resources are available to help us. So today's session, you know, Theo is taking us through P2P, right from introduction of the concept. as well as, what are some of the platforms that we might know of, and specifically is going to zoom in on the exchanges and give us a demo at the end. And then I'll just close it off with the community updates. Welcome, Rafael. Great to have you. You're in good time just when we are about to serve the main meal. Cool. So you guys have seen this slide. I think if you have not seen it, this is one of the slides that we had. And remember, our approach is we're building concept upon concept so that there's connection of ideas and we are able to evolve those ideas. So we've talked about the 3 ways of getting crypto. Mining is something I'm going to cover in details in a very comprehensive session that will come within this batch. That will probably be the end before we break away. Earning, I don't know whether we'll talk about that. Maybe we will at some point, but not now. But we're going to still focus on buying. And Theo is taking us through, we've talked about buying through exchanges directly, but he's going to talk about P2P specifically. And actually, this is something that I think is become very important. And in fact, I think it's important for me to underscore this. In the light of the recent developments we've had, where cards are blocked, there's limitation in terms of, you can only buy within the local exchange, you can't buy externally. If you're in South Africa, you can only buy in South Africa. So I think Theo is going to speak to us about along those lines. So I think, so with that, not so much more to say other than just to hand over to Theo, who will actually just really guide us from here.
Thank you very much, Tim. So, okay, let's start this. Has anyone ever heard anything about P2P? Doesn't have to be about trading. Anything. P2P is peer-to-peer, by the way. So P2P is just the like the shortened form of it. Have you heard about P2P, peer-to-peer? Any experience using it anywhere at all? Doesn't necessarily have to be crypto.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I've also heard about it, maybe through remittances.
Okay, that's good. That means majority of us in this session would find it easy to follow through. Okay, right. Tim, can you go to the next slide? Okay, so I mean, this is just like a very clear image of what P2P means, peer-to-peer. You see everybody a connection to one another without really having to depend on this centralized guy in the middle. All right, can you go to the next slide? So, I mean, just to give it a definition for the purpose of a definition, like a peer-to-peer service is a decentralized platform whereby two individuals interact directly with each other without intermediation by a third party. Instead, the buyer and the seller transact directly with each other via the P2P service. The P2P platform may provide services such as search, screening, rating, payment processing, or escrow. I lifted this directly from Investopedia in case you want to check. So basically, P2P is just two individuals trading, and I'm sure at one time or the other, we would all have used it before. If you've had to, even if it's not a recognized platform, let's say you had to buy something from your friend and you had to pay them, it's a form of P2P trading as well. It's just a trading that doesn't have like someone that is dictating things, like a central person dictating things. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so I mean, from the previous slide, I did talk about P2P between two people and how you might have used it even without you knowing. Like these are, if you look at these images, can anyone recognize any of the images here? I'm sure some are pretty clear, like Uber and Airbnb at least. So, I mean, if you look at the images here, you see Gumtree. I think in South Africa, Gumtree is quite popular. I didn't know it until I got to South Africa. eBay is global. I mean, you could be trading with someone in America or anywhere, but I mean, in this case, eBay still does a bit of what do you call it? A bit of a middleman stuff, like they handle the logistics for you. Facebook Marketplace. I mean, this is quite popular globally as well. You just go there, you see what you want to buy, you contact the person, you guys finalize the terms of agreement. Craigslist, very popular as well. Amazon, they do have a similar platform to what eBay has as well, even though Amazon has what you would call a B2C as well. So B2C is business to consumer, which means Amazon still sells their own stuffs, while they still allow individuals to sell to individuals as well on their platform. Same with AliExpress. I mean, Airbnb, I'm sure a lot would everybody here would have had a reason to use Airbnb before. Where it's giving the hotels a run for their money. Fiverr, this is more like an online marketplace where you have a project and you can find people to do it for you. And Uber, I'm sure we all use Uber. We've all used it one time or the other. I mean, this is not an exhaustive list. These I just picked like from different spheres of life to show how we have been using P2P even without knowing. Okay, can go to the next
I
slide.
have a question here for you.
All right.
So you mentioned something to do with B2C, or
Yeah.
So when we say P2P, is that restricted to what do you call it? Consumer type? Because like if I think of Uber, it's like individuals. If you think of these ones, there's to be a notion that it's individuals. Even marketplace, I think it's people who. So is there a variation on that, or how should we understand just the P2P concept?
Yes, there is variation on that. So now, with business, what happens is there are a number of business models. You have B2B, which is business to business, like a business that sells directly to another business. It's a B2B. You have B2C, business to consumer or customer, a business that sells directly to customers, like to individuals. To make it clearer, it's using a B2C model. And you have C2C, where there are platforms that allow the individuals themselves sell directly to themselves. So I think that's the case with Amazon in this place. They do have a platform that allows both B2C and C2C. C2C is same as P2P. It's just, we are just changing the term. Consumer to consumer, customer to customer, peer to peer, individual to individual. It's all the same thing.
Oh, okay. No, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, now so let's go a bit more granular. Let's see what P2P means in crypto. And like Tim explained earlier, there's been a lot of regulations recently. For instance, I'm Nigerian, and Nigeria's Senate was one of the first regulators to cancel crypto. So basically now in Nigeria, it is illegal for any organization to sell crypto. Even though,
what?
Yeah, according to the laws of Nigeria. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So I mean, Nigeria is a very funny country. If you want more of the fun, you can test me later for the fun. Now, this gets really interesting. According to the laws of the country, as an organization, you cannot sell crypto, but they didn't say you cannot use crypto. So you can trade crypto, you can do anything with crypto, but then if you were to do a transaction and it was to originate from, let's say, Binance, a local Bitcoin, or it has anything with crypto, maybe you paid money to someone's account and they traced it to a crypto platform, you could go to jail for that and your account could be frozen by the central bank of the country. So, so there comes in P2P. So since the government will not allow us trade it centrally, I guess then P2P then can make us trade it within ourselves. So P2P trading is simply the act of buying and selling cryptocurrencies directly between users, user A to user B, user C to user D, without going through a central person. Like before, if we wanted to buy P2P in Nigeria, we'd probably buy directly from Binance, like Tim said, with our cards. But now we can't even buy with cards. We can't buy directly from our account. We can't buy directly from any platform because it would raise suspicion from the central bank and you find yourself in trouble. But we can buy directly from ourselves, and that's what P2P is all about. So you don't get to transact with any counterparty or exchanges. You transact with an individual. The individual determines the price together with the buyer and the seller. So there will still always be two parties, the seller, the buyer, and you both agree on the price and decide how to carry out the trade. So, I mean, this is a summary. With P2P, you transact directly with individuals and not the exchange. Yeah, I think someone had a question. Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm actually wondering, I'm just thinking practically on this, and I don't know what you guys is crossing in your mind, because I'm thinking, so where is the outlet then? Does it, because if your cards are blocked,
yeah,
it means what you're selling is what you had already bought to another person, or
yeah.
what? And then because
yeah, that's a very, very important question. So, I mean, what happens in most cases is people get crypto from different places. There are people who have had crypto for some time and they've been holding and they've now decided to sell. There are people who trade crypto as a living. Like that's what they do. There are people who have been who send money to their family in crypto. So, I mean, in a way, I guess crypto on its own too, it's a challenge on the fiat currencies. We are trying to push crypto to a point whereby instead of rands, naira, shillings, and all that, cryptos are what we use to transact. So, I mean, for the people who use crypto regularly to transact, they always have crypto and they always want to sell as well.
Okay.
Theo,
Yeah.
I assume also by the sheer scale of the population of Nigeria,
Yeah.
there is an established market already of people with crypto. So that makes this quite a very dynamic trading economy in terms of what's already there without relying on organizations.
Exactly. And maybe I should just quickly take maybe like 1 minute to dive deeper into the underlying issue with Nigeria. So now Nigeria has 200 million people scattered across the globe. I think, I don't know the estimated value, at least about 30 million of those people are in diaspora. Now, those people send money home to their loved ones and their families and friends. And the government wants to have a share of that cheese, a share of the money that comes in. And because, for instance, if the devalued nature of the naira, when I was living in Nigeria in 2019, a naira to a dollar was 350. Currently, a naira to a dollar is about 500 naira. Now, if you want to send money from Nigeria, let's say I'm in Nigeria and I want to send money to South Africa, the only way you can send that money is to go and get your own dollar, take that dollar to the bank or wherever you want to take it to and send that money in dollar. Now, when people send money in, the government wants to receive the dollar directly. They want the central bank to record the amount of dollars that are coming in and they want to tax it. So they now then noticed that people were diverting the funds via crypto. So because now if I send my dollars to Nigeria via Ripple, Ethereum, or BTC, the government can't know what happens and I will sell it when it gets to Nigeria or even hold it in Nigeria. So then that's why they canceled it basically. And even some platforms like Luno was really large in Nigeria. Luno, I don't know, for some reasons, they are yet to implement P2P, even in Nigeria, and they've stopped operations. I think they told everyone to withdraw cryptos from their wallet and they had to stop operation. So we can move to the next slide. Any questions, please, on what I just said?
I didn't know that. Thank you. That's really, that's really, did you guys know that? I don't know. Wow. Thank you.
Very insightful.
So sorry, just to understand something here. So you're saying because of the sheer volume of people that are outside of Nigeria but are actually Nigerians, there's lots of currency, there's lots of coins that would come in even though there is that ban. So my question was just going to be, if I'm Nigerian and I am in Nigeria and I am trading P2P, if the government was to catch that, would I be held liable?
Yeah, that's why I said Nigeria is a funny country. You see, Nigeria is one of the easiest countries to exist in the world because we've seen cases where someone stabbed someone with a knife, and at the end of the day, the person who went to jail is the owner of the knife and not the person who stabbed someone. So on cases like, okay, why did you put your knife out in the open? You know, knife is a dangerous object and you kept it out in the open. If your knife wasn't there, that guy would not have used it to stab someone. So you are the wrong person. That's a Nigerian court, for instance, and that's the way Nigerian laws work. Now, the regulators, the senators, to be very clear, are very, very biased and corrupt people. They created the law and they left the loophole in the law as well. So the law didn't say don't trade crypto. The law only said that all crypto platforms are not allowed to sell or buy cryptos, basically, with Nigerian accounts. So the law didn't state anything because even the senators themselves, they use crypto to launder Nigeria's money, to launder it abroad and all that. So they are very careful with the laws that they implement, and that's why they left that loophole. Okay, you guys can do what you want to do with your crypto, but then don't move this crypto via a platform to a Nigerian bank. So
that's funny.
so
Okay.
that's so I mean, it's good we talk about some of the benefits and the risks. I think we've been talking about more of the benefits, but we have to know too, anything crypto is really, really risky because the fact that something it's not decentralized, it creates a kind of very easy way for someone to run away with your money and you can't trace the person. So these are some of the advantages: cheaper transactions with low/zero trading fees. So when I first arrived there, I used to send money back home with Mama Money. Does anyone know Mama Money? The Zim guys, the Zim guys, yeah. So, but when Nigeria implemented that, the crypto laws, the Mama Money, even before the crypto laws, Nigeria now they first implemented a law that when any money is coming into the country, it has to come in USD. So that means if I'm in South Africa and I earn in rands, but I want to send money to Nigeria, I cannot send rands to Nigeria and exchange it to Naira when it gets to Nigeria. I need to send USD. So that means I need to take my rands in South Africa, look for someone who has USD, maybe a bank, maybe ABSA or FNB. Then now they will now send my USD to my DOM account, my domiciliary account back in Nigeria. The bank will now exchange it at their own parallel price. So in Nigeria, most times there is a black market price for dollar and a parallel market for dollar. So the black market price is the real price, that which is about 500.
Freedom, Oga.
Yeah. In that case, if you look at what I've explained, if you are moving money across like that, you would have lost a huge chunk of your money, maybe close to 20% or 30% of your money. Let's say you wanted to send home 1,000 rands, you would have lost between 20 to 30%, maybe only 800 rands or 700 would make it to the destination. Global marketplace / penetration, you are able to trade with anyone from anywhere. I mean, you are not restricted to a platform within the borders of a particular country. Easy and profitable currency exchange, that's very similar to the cheaper transactions with low zero trading fee. multiple payment methods. So for these, there are exchanges. I know on Binance, Binance does allow you to pay with your bank account. You can pay with other e-currencies as well, like maybe Skrill, PayPal, and other payment methods, not just your bank card or bank account. Send money and crypto easily to family and friends. Okay. Tim sent me this link and I felt it's needed to include it in this. So, I mean, if you want to send crypto to your family and friends, all they just need, all they probably need is to maybe just open an account with any of the exchanges and you just send it to their wallet at a very low fee. Secure transactions when you use escrow. Keyword here is when you use. I mean, this is very important. If you should take anything away from this session, it should be this. So, here is something that has happened to me a lot on Binance because I do use Binance in general. When during the demo, which we'll do very soon, I would show you on Binance, people do create adverts like, okay, I have 50 BTC, I want to sell it. So at times, let's say the price of BTC, you know that the price of BTC is $45,000, but someone, oh, okay, most times it's even the guys that want to buy, it's the guy that want to buy your crypto that are the thieves. Let's say you have 50 BTC and you want to sell, and you know that the market price of BTC is $45,000, but someone is offering you $80,000 to buy one BTC from you. Then when you discuss with the person tells you that let's take the transaction offline. I mean, you should always refuse that. I mean, escrow is like escrow. The definition of escrow basically is I want to trade with Tim and Tawanda now is our escrow. So Tawanda owes the money. He's holding the crypto from me and he's holding, then he tells Tim to pay me. So when Tim has paid me in rands, then it gives Tim the crypto. So that's just the straightforward definition of escrow. Next slide. Okay, so I've discussed a bit of the disadvantage. I've discussed that first one, a risk of losing all your funds if you do not stick to escrow rules. So if someone tells you that, come, let us do this trading outside of the platform, never agree. Low volume of liquidity in trading, this happens as well. You have 50 BTC that you want to sell, but the people who want to buy only want to buy maybe 20 BTC. So it will take you some time to be able to sell off your BTC. It's unlike when you are trading, it's like when you are trading with, if you are trading with Binance, for instance, if you have 50 BTC to sell, Binance will buy all of it at once. They have that capacity, they have the volume, but individuals might not be able to do that. Slow completion of transaction. This happens a lot. I mean, I noticed when I got to South Africa, like in Nigeria, we have very good instant transaction banking system. So if I'm sending money now to you, you get it basically on the spot. But in South Africa, I noticed that if you've not been sending money to someone, sometimes you might need to call your bank to release funds to the person. So, I mean, those kind of things will create some bottlenecks. So that means at times you might need to be waiting for your money to arrive because your bank has refused to release the money or something. Identity fraud. Sometimes people steal people's KYC details and they take someone's passports, register with the person's name. I don't know how these guys do it, but you need to be very careful of it. This is a very big fraud as well. Reversible transactions. I've spoken about this as well. This has a lot to do with the banking system. So you need to make sure that you do not, especially when you are the crypto seller, that's when you are the one selling, when you are the one holding the crypto, you need to make sure that you do not release the crypto until you have received your money in your bank account. Don't listen to anything like I said, bank transactions in South Africa are subjected to a very high level of fraud checks. So that does make the transaction slow at times. So let's say someone new is sending you money, then you might not get it very quickly. Then the person might be disturbing you. I've sent it. Wait and let the transaction be completed. Because if it gets reversed, then the person might get to owe their money and keep your crypto if you've released. Let's go to the next slide. I think we're almost done. We'll soon be. So escrow again, what is escrow and why is it important? These are just more of definitions. Escrow is a legal concept describing a financial instrument whereby an asset or escrow money is held by a third party on behalf of two other parties that are in the process of completing a transaction. I got this from Investopedia as well. If you want to look at it, you can go look at it. So, I mean, escrow has been around even before crypto was born, before Bitcoin was born. It's been a very legal and financial term. So I gave the example of me and Tim trading and Tawanda holding the money. Does anyone have any question on escrow before we move forward? Okay, can move forward. Can move forward then. Okay, so these are very popular exchanges and that do P2P. Remitano is quite popular in Nigeria as well. Remitano and Binance, those were the two very popular ones in Nigeria. I know Luno is like the popular one in South Africa. Unfortunately, Luno is here to implement P2P on their application. So we have Remitano, Binance, Paxful, and local Bitcoins. But I do need to tell you, be careful of local Bitcoins because I do own an account on all these four, even though I'm only active on Remitano and Binance. But what I've noticed on local Bitcoins that I've never seen in Remitano, Binance, and Paxful is that I would just be on my phone and I will receive an email telling me someone has logged into my account from Russia. I don't know if that has happened to anyone. So, I mean, I don't know if they've implemented second and third factor authentication now, which Binance has, at least to a certain degree of money. I think your money is safer on the other three. I've had very horrible experience with local Bitcoins. I didn't lose any money, but I saw that a lot. So that means if I had any money in my wallet, someone could easily go there and move it away. Okay, we can go on.
So which one would you recommend, Theo? Because I think that's important because I mean, you're going to be relying on platforms.
In recent event of what has been happening on Binance, I would go with Remitano and Paxful. At least they seem to be stable. Remitano, basically, they don't, Remitano on their own, they don't do, from the start of their career, if that is correct, all they've been doing is P2P. You know, Binance is an exchange, so Remitano is not an exchange. Even Paxful is an exchange, and they do P2P. Remitano is just P2P. That's all they've been doing. So they do not really have issues with regulation. And it's quite simple to use, even though it's not that popular around this side.
Okay. So Remitano is quite big in Nigeria.
Yeah, it's big. For P2P, it's big. Yeah.
Local Bitcoins?
Local Bitcoins is big in Nigeria as well, but like I said, I've had horrible security experience with them.
Okay, but you've never really confirmed that someone is actually logged onto your account?
Yes, I confirmed the person logged onto my account, but I didn't have money there. I confirmed it.
Gosh, wow.
Someone from
the
Russia.
Russians, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
No. Okay. Yeah. That's the moment we've been waiting for.
Yes, we've been waiting for this. Wow. Thank you, man. I mean, I've learned a lot. I didn't even know this Remitano thing.
I'm able to share my screen.
Yeah, so we'll give you a moment to just share a screen and we should continue.
While he's waiting for the screen to share, I think P2P is really very, very advanced in Nigeria. I don't know which other African country we can really say uses P2P as much as Nigeria.
We are a lot of people, basically.
Yeah. Kevin, you mentioned the last time, but that's more an M-Pesa thing to, I don't know, but it's still the same central exchange model, is it? I think. I don't know. I mean, it's a good question, Jeremy, because I think Nigeria is a
yeah. Okay, I'm having issues sharing my screen. Yeah. Looks like I just got this new system and it looks like Mac and the system preferences, but I could quickly join on my mobile and I could share the screen on my mobile and we do the demo on my phone. So
That's fine. That's
just give me 1 minute, 2 minutes tops. You can ask me questions while I do that.
Yeah, so anybody else who wants to share if they have used this P2P? Because I think I've not really, the reason why I thought it would make sense is especially for the reasons that we've had recently. I think, yeah, I don't know if anybody has used P2P elsewhere.
I didn't use P2P. I mean, I use P2P for in another circumstances, but not for crypto. I do have another question though.
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't. Oops, see. I didn't
Sorry,
understand.
sorry, that's me.
Okay. I didn't grasp the concept of escrow. Can someone enlighten me? Thank you.
Okay. I can speak on that. So basically, the easiest way to explain escrow is just a middleman that holds the funds on both sides to ensure that party A or party B doesn't receive the money and they run away. So in terms of crypto, what happens is that, let's say you want to sell Bitcoins. The Binance or wherever the P2P platform is, they would hold your Bitcoin. Then they would tell, let's say you are selling it to me, they will tell me to send you the fiat currency. Now, when you confirm that you've received the money, then you need to click on release. Then they would release the crypto to me. So let me see if I can share my screen.
But basically, the concept of P2P is without middlemen, right?
Yes, it's without middleman.
So when we do P2P, we should avoid. I mean, normally we don't have to use any middleman.
Can you see my screen?
No. Yes. Yeah, we can see your screen. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm doing this via my mobile. So if you see, this is the Binance on mobile. So when you come here, you see more. I think it's easier. It's easier on the PC on the web.
So you might need to charge. It looks like your battery is running red.
So it will take me through. I see that. So you just click on P2P.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, these are adverts. So now you need to select the currency depending on the country you are or what you want to sell. So yeah, the default here is which is South Africa, but these are other countries and other currencies. So we just use rands for today. So now this guy here, Zaten, he wants to sell, the quantity he has to sell is 1,048 USDT. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and he wants to sell it at 15.41. So I think this is the cheapest.
Yeah. So you can sell. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So it's
so you need to select the currency. So USDT, you could select BTC as you could select BUSD. That's Binance, their own version of USDT. You can select Ethereum. So, but now I think even on Binance, the only coins that are on the P2P are basically USDT, BTC, and ETH. They've not really added Ripple. I know a lot of people would like to see Ripple in action here. They've not added Ripple. So I will just quickly dwell on the the selling, because that's the dangerous part.
Yeah. So I think, Theo, you need to mute one of your devices because it looks like there's audio feeds coming from two places. I don't know which one you did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it better now? Oh, okay, mute.
I could mute, but yeah, but I don't know which one. Yeah, you are fine.
Yeah.
Now. I wasn't sure which one it was. Yeah.
So I was noticing that, so I didn't know. I thought I was clicking on the volume. I took out the volume. My head didn't click to that side. Yeah. So in this case now, let's say you want to sell and you choose to sell. You need to be very careful, because let's say I click on sell now and just trying to click on sell. Probably click on sell, even though I want to really sell. So it brings me here. Then you need to choose the bank account you are using for transfer. You need to choose how much you want to sell. I don't think I have anything to sell, so I don't have any money basically. But I'm just going to show you some of the transactions that I've completed before. So when you complete a transaction, it comes here to your order. So what really happens here is, let me go to completed. I'm going to go to cancelled, and you can see a lot of these guys. Some I did in rands, some I did in naira. It's basically what I wanted to show you. I wanted to probably show you the people who try to scam me, if I can find them. So on the selling part, it's harder, because now you are the one holding the coins, and people are going to be out to get your money. When you are buying the coins, you are not really in any danger, except maybe some bank issues. Because when you are buying the coins, then you transfer the money. When Binance will tell you, okay, we are now holding this person's coin, then they tell you to transfer money to the person's account. So the person cannot, they cannot say they want to stop the transaction, because Binance would at least hold the person's coin for some hours before they release it back to them. And that's if Binance doesn't hear from you. So if the person tries to play anything funny, you just open a dispute. But when you are selling the coins, you have cases where the person will not send money, and they will convince you to click on release. Like, you should release the coin to them. They will tell you that, okay, maybe their bank is having issues, or they want you to check the transaction offline and not use escrow and stuff like that. Can't really find what I was looking for, but I will just click on this.
So maybe a question here is in terms of escrow. So in this case, Binance would be providing escrow service.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay.
they would. Yes, they would.
Something else. When you're buying crypto, let's say, so you have to pay in fiat, or you can pay in this what do you call it?
You have to pay in fiat, but there are different ways of paying. For instance, let's say you want to buy from this guy now. Let's click on this guy. They will show us it's acceptable. This guy is only accepting bank transfer as a mode of payment. You can see that. So you can also say, okay, maybe I want to filter. But like I can already see all these guys are accepting bank transfer. Let me choose.
And this guy's KYC'd, by the way. If you say on Binance, they KYC'd, or I'm seeing funny names they have as nicknames.
Yeah, so that's another thing you need to check. So you need to click on, that's a very good question. You need to click on the person. Click on the person, like see this person now, this Grace Rain, you see verified user, email verified, SMS verified, KYC verified, address is verified. So you only want to sell to those kind of people. Thank you, team. So now let me go to the sell. Like this is the Nigerian one, and you're going to see the ways most of these guys try to scam people. I think Binance eventually removed those guys, so I can't find them. But previously, before, now you see that the highest price here is 514.10.1. Now, before you could see that the highest price could be 700. Someone wanting to buy $1 from you for 700, and you would probably easily want to fall for that. And just want to sell to them. Then basically when you click on sell or you start any trade, this is what happens. It opens the transaction and it's there is a what do you call it? There is like a what do you call it again? Like a messaging place where you message them. So then they will tell you. So when the person has paid you, the person will mark the order as paid on their side. So you get this automated message. You see here, Teslim Olalekan, blah, 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 has marked the order as paid. Please confirm that you have received the payment and released the asset. Then this is what happens because I've released the asset. So if someone then tells you that, okay, I have paid and you haven't confirmed and they tell you to release, please do not release. Confirm from your bank, check your mobile app. There have been cases of people who send fraudulent SMS messages as well. So so you need to confirm your balance. You just need to do your due diligence. I mean, what Tim asked was very, very valid. Like always click on, when you come to when you see the ads, always click on the buyer or the seller, look at them, are they verified? Look at their feedbacks. You can read their feedbacks. You see this person has a positive feedback of 100%. This is probably a good user. Yeah.
That's a very good sign actually, because I was confused. Like, how would I know? So I think the verification is a good point. I mean, the platform has to be the right one. The verification is a factor, and then the ratings here is actually a really, really important factor. And then obviously the others is just due diligence and you being careful, if I understand correctly. I don't know if you guys have any comments or any anything you want.
For me, I see that then if one is sending fiats for some of these transactions, then there is a delay in the processing times. As you mentioned, some banking systems like in South Africa, they do a lot of due diligence. So if you do peer-to-peer across the border, then of course the time frame for that money to be there might take some time. But also the other point is, it really requires a lot of verification here. So you really need to be very careful as to who you're interacting with.
Yeah, you could easily lose all your money. And I mean, it's most times it plays on people's greed. Like I said, someone knows that $1 to a rand has an average price of 15. Imagine someone telling you that they will pay 25.
I see. Great. Any other questions, guys? Because so before we transition, but I think this has really been very helpful, Theo. Thank you for taking us through this. It's really, really helpful.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll just stop the show.
I have another question. How can you, in which cases is there a middleman then, if the whole system works on P2P? There shouldn't be a middleman, right?
Yeah, so basically P2P tries to remove the middleman, and that's where escrow came in. So originally P2P is just between two people.
Yeah.
But then that created a lot of trust issues, a lot of problems. I can easily run away with your money. So imagine you want to sell one Ethereum and I say, okay, send me the Ethereum first. And I will send you the money now I'm in the bank. I will deposit it in your account. Immediately you send me the Ethereum. And you send the Ethereum and you never find me again, especially since it's something that happens online. It's not something that happens where the two people are seated. I mean, it's P2P, it's easy when two people meet face to face. But when I don't know you, I mean, so that's the reason why there is a slight third-party interference, which is known as escrow. Escrow is just someone who holds the money so that nobody can run.
Okay. So, all right, because the name is kind of misleading, I guess.
Yeah.
Escrow,
I do understand that.
Makes me think of an escrow.
Yeah, escrow is not. Escrow is not a crypto term. It's a financial term and legal term. It's been around for some time.
No, it's actually all right. It's financial and legal, because I mean, I remember I think we're buying a house. There's all these lawyers who do it in escrow, whatever that is.
Okay.
But in French, In French, it means it's basically a thief or
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
hacker.
what
Yeah.
and so since my mother tongue is French, I was
Wow.
kind of
Yeah.
confused. I was
Yeah,
like, okay,
okay. I see.
okay.
Languages can be
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. But Theo, then
What means hello in a place could mean you are stupid somewhere else. So,
yes,
Yeah.
Nigalo. Then I see
Well,
there's
the
some
definition
hidden.
actually
Go
says
ahead.
escrow is a legal arrangement in which a third party temporarily holds large sums of
yes,
money or property until a particular condition has been met.
exactly. That is correct. So in the case of crypto now, the exchange would hold the crypto until the buyer sends the money to the seller. So when the buyer confirms that I've sent the money, then the exchange would release the crypto to the buyer.
Yeah, but it makes sense because the term escrow, if we put it in the French definition, pure definition, you holding something that doesn't belong to you, you're actually a crook for the time being until you release it, then you're free. But the moment you're
Right.
holding something that doesn't belong to you, you're actually
Yeah.
legally stealing, you know?
Yeah. So guys, thank you, Theo. I mean, I think that's really been amazing. I'm sure
Yeah,
it
thank
looks
you.
like from just the feedback from the room that we really enlightened us. I know, Theo, you spend a lot of time reading, so I think I'm going to share this more on the back of the, what do you call it? I'm not going to post this on the Telegram channel. It's just too much. I'm going to share it alongside the recording, so that it's easy for you. Just click it and you go to it. You know, I mean, it doesn't really serve anything here. And then, of course, the exchanges that Theo mentioned. Any feedback for Theo? I think he's really done very well. Thank you, Theo. You know, well done, man.
No, well done, Theo. You've opened my eyes
you.
to this world of P2P with crypto.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank
But,
you for
Thanks, Theo.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
so I
the
don't know.
demo, Theo, because it was like very practical, and I could see finally a real example of how you can use crypto. So it's very, very useful.
Yeah, great, excellent. Thank you, guys. So allow me to just do the wrap up quickly, the next few. So let me mute one. Okay, cool. So yeah, so I think just in the last section, which we have is just a bit of updates from my side. And I think this will continue as a theme until I think at some point we will probably have a full-on session just around the community side of what's been happening in that space. So I think you're familiar. I mentioned this last week. For those of you who are not there, we're gonna do a signature event, hopefully in September. Actually, there's an asterisk there. I'm engaging with some of the guys. And I think it's going to be amazing. Just really get input, external, outside in. I mean, all the teachings we've been doing so far have been by ourselves, but maybe a little bit of a wide angle view, you know, that we can get some input from others who are out there, wherever they are. And I'm looking as much as possible to leverage people from within the continent. There's a very, very vibrant community in Nigeria. There's vibrant communities all around. And I'm trying to see whether it's possible just to get some input from those places. Yeah, so I think that's just something that I wanted to give as an update. And then I think we saw this last week for those of you who are there, and the champions already saw it. So I think the reason for this, and it will be here as a point of reminder to say that if we can you know, be a little bit more proactive in trying to get people on, because I mean, we are learning like now, I mean, the rest of the people who didn't come into this session and those who will not watch the recordings don't really know what P2P is. And we really need to get as many people on board. So again, this brings to the last slide here, which is really around each one of us inviting somebody. All you need to do is just invite them, you know, send them the link. I mean, you know how to, I'll paste the link on the Telegram channel and let people join. You know, invite them to the sessions. We create flyers for that reason. And if there's any other creative ways that you feel we can do, please let us know, because we wanted it to be organic. Not really, we didn't want to market and publish it everywhere. We want to just at least let it be an organic community growth kind of format. So guys, I think for what to look forward to in the next couple of weeks, Bianca is going to take us through a session on mindset. She's still fine-tuning it, but it's going to be very interesting. It actually speaks to our psyche and psychology. So we'll be blending these lessons. It will not be crypto alone, but it will be things which are attached to crypto, that are also personal development alike, and will really be value. And then I mentioned I think it's probably be one of the most significant sessions I'll be teaching on mining, which will come much later. So with that, guys, I think we've had a wonderful time. Thanks again to Theo for the explanations and taking time. His laptop crashed, by the way, and he had to redo everything. Can you imagine the dedication? We really appreciated Theo. We really appreciated that. So he's been so you guys found it useful. So I think everybody commented and said they really did. So again, thank you for making time. And I think with that, we'll see each other again next week on Wednesday at the same time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, team. Thank you,
Thank you,
Theo.
Thank you, Theo.
Cheers, cheers,
Bye to
team.
everyone.
Cheers,
Thanks,
guys.
guys. Cheers.
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 Yeah, thanks.
A great evening.